RNY here, coming to you with my week 63 post-op, I believe. I didn't come to you guys last week with my week 62 because we had our home week. Yeah, so pretty much it was May 2-4 weekend in Canada this past weekend, and we opened up our trailer. So it was pretty much go out west and get home as fast as possible, and we still got set back with that anyways, because we were opening up our trailer, and I did intend on doing it on Friday, and then got set back on Friday, and then I wanted to do it on Saturday, and I got set back on Saturday. And normally, and especially now, normally when we go up to the trailer, I do the lion's share of the cooking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not even to mention, like I said, it was opening weekend, so I had a whole bunch of stuff to do, but I will get into that in a few minutes. So I'm sorry I didn't come to you guys last week. I don't even remember what I was. Actually, you know what? I didn't even weigh myself until Friday. I think I was like 219 on Friday. I think I was 216 on Saturday, which, wow, or no. I was 222 on Friday, I was 219 on Saturday, and then I was 216 on Sunday. So I guess I was retaining a lot of water. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Not even to mention, I think I had dealt with a little bit of constipation last week, and I'm dealing with a bit of constipation again. So yeah, so anyways, to start the spiel, and I hope you guys like this angle. I'm going to try and do it like this. I'm not holding it, so hopefully it'll be a little less shaky. It's still going to be shaky because we're in the transport, and as you can see by the window, we are moving. So anyways, to start my spiel, I had surgery on March 7th, 2018 at Guelph General Hospital in Guelph, Ontario, Canada, with Dr. Jules Foutain-Long. I am 5'7" and I am 40 years old. My highest weight was 343.6 pounds. My surgery weight was 316.4 pounds, and please bear with me because I do not have my book. I actually forgot it at my trailer. We had to come back a day earlier than normal, so I was trying to make sure that I got everything packed up and had everything, and I forgot one or two things, which is fine. But yeah, so today I weighed myself at 215.8. Really sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't mean to drop you guys. But like, it's on the dash, so, and I don't have a tripod or anything to put my phone on, so I figured I'd try this and see how it goes. So there may be once or twice you guys drop because we go over a bump or something. So just please bear with me. So like I said, I was 215.8 today. I'm happy with that. And I'm not sure what I was at week 61. So I don't know how much of a loss it is. I won't know until I get my book. And then I'll kind of backtrack a little bit for you guys. So pretty much, my husband and I did a lot of talking, and we decided to switch to keto now instead of waiting until we had a house, because I had to do something. I've been battling eating sugar and a lot of different things, getting back into bad habits that I didn't want to get back into, that I had no intention of getting back into. But sometimes, as good as our intentions may be, sometimes they're not realistic. They obviously weren't realistic for me. With my financial issues that I've been dealing with the last couple of months, it's put a really big strain on me because I've been really worried and anxious about money, to make sure, you know, we keep up with bills and keep making sure that, well, I mean, we got to pay our phone bill because we're out here. We can't be out here without a phone. I have to make my trailer payments or I lose my trailer. I have to pay my car and motorcycle insurance because, well, at least my car insurance, I mean, I could put the bikes on ice for a little bit, but with it being summer, we have a couple of months until we have to get our full license, because they do a graduated licensing system for your driver's license and for your motorcycle license in Canada. So we have a couple of months left before we have to graduate up to our full motorcycle license. So I need to get out and get some experience because I've been on my motorcycle probably about 10 times and have only been on the highway twice. So I need the highway experience before I go and do my road test for my full M. Just cabin fever too, because like I said, a lot of people have been dealing with winter for 6 or 7 months. We've been dealing with it for 9 because we've been back and forth across the country into the mountains, and it started snowing in BC in the mountains anyways in September, like the early to mid-September. So there was definitely a lot of cabin fever at play in that, and of course when you have things like this go on, it, you know, to some degree it puts a strain on your relationship with your significant other. So I mean, you know, it's just been a whole bunch of stuff that's just snowballed into everything, and just, you know, whatever, you deal with it as you can. So you know, on top of all of that, my husband has health issues from the accident we had 1.5 years ago that he's been dealing with and going and seeing various doctors for, to try and get his problems fixed and whatever. So we've been concentrating on a lot of different things, and a lot of my mental health has taken a back seat because, well, one, I'm a truck driver. I don't necessarily have the time to just go and see anybody. I can't just pick up and go to the therapist because I need, you know, an hour to talk to somebody who's not biased every day, or, you know, to get the advice that somebody who isn't biased would give me. You know, I can't just pick up and go to the gym and work my anger out. I can't just, you know, if I have any, or my frustration. It's a little bit harder, and that's okay, because this is, you know, my life and my choice and whatever, so don't get me wrong. I don't regret it for an instant. It just, I have to work within the boundaries that I have. And so that being said, especially the last few weeks, I've been slacking off on the jogging, which I need to get back into doing because I was finding that it was helping to help me feel happier and more content. I was liking the way my body was starting to feel, the way that my body was starting to move. That, and I sit in a chair for 10 to 13 hours every day. Sitting is no longer an option. I mean, I have to do it every day no matter what anyways, because this is my job. But I need to incorporate the exercise back in. So, but the last few weeks I didn't, because it was the last few weeks before we opened the trailer. So it was just running around like chickens with our heads cut off, doing our loads, and just, I didn't feel the motivation or the want to, well, the want was there to a certain degree, but not as bad as it was before. But it's getting back there again, so to jog and do the things that I was doing. So I'm going to get back into that again. Also, though, on top of that, like, what compounded into that was the fact that I was starting to feel really bogged down, and so I did a bunch of research to find out why that was and whatever. The other thing too is I was carb loading a lot too at the end of the day, especially on the days that I was working out, which is something that I didn't want to do. You know, at first when I was eating the junk, it just was, you know, like movie nights when we were sitting and we, you know, watching movies, and we weren't running and whatever, and I mean, like, being out here and being in various truck stops doesn't help, because, honey, they're full of freaking junk. Like, just walk into a truck stop one day and tell me the first thing that you see: junk, chips, chocolate, candy, gum, you know, all the things, and so, yeah, so, and that's in Canada or the States. The States just has better choices, has more, well, not better choices necessarily, but more choices than we have in Canada, which, whatever. So, I mean, especially when we started coming down here, it was like a smorgasbord. I mean, what can you do? So, then it just started to get to be when I was driving almost every day. And it was something that I was trying to battle mentally by myself, and it just, I couldn't overcome it. And then, so, I have a friend, Julia, and I had expressed to her these things, or some of these things, and she actually helped me, and thank you very much, Julia, because it really did help. She sent me through email a blog. The lady is called the Bariatric Blogger, and the blog that she sent me, I read the first one. I haven't read the second one that's attached to it yet, or like gone further down the page, but I did read the very first one, and pretty much it was saying that we constantly have these two demons that we're battling in our head. One's the child and one's the instigator, and they both work with each other to get us to continue with the bad habits and eating the bad things and everything like that, and that you have to give them this, it's just the basis of it. You have to give them tough love and sorry, I'm gonna try and find something that I can do so that doesn't happen, but I don't know what, so bear with me today. So that you have to give them tough love, and that when that's happening, you have to sit back and figure out what you're feeling and why, and tell those inner voices that, you know, hey, you don't need to turn to junk and sugar and crap to feel better and to feel loved, because I love you and I'm here and you're okay. So I've been employing that a lot in the last couple of weeks, and I have found, once I read that article, I actually found that it really helped right away, because it helped to put into perspective some of the mental aspects that I have been dealing with. And I don't know if it would work for anybody else. I did send it to another friend who has read it recently and has said that they would see if it would help them as well. They're a lot further out than I am, though. Like at least a couple years further out than I am. So yeah, so if anybody is interested in obtaining it, that email, I am more than willing, just leave me a message down below with your email. I'm more than willing to forward it on to you, because it did help me, and it could help you too if you're struggling. So another thing is, like I said, my husband and I this past weekend switched to keto while we were home, and well, my husband didn't get through the whole weekend, which I expected that he would not, because, well, we had a potluck with our close friends on Sunday at the park, and, well, the sweet treats were out, and we had a couple of guests at our trailer, and I can't tell them, like, I asked them, you know, like, they want, crap, sorry, I asked them, let's see if this will work. No, that won't work, it's too big. Heavier that will stop my phone. Maybe I'll just tilt you'll have to get that angle instead, I think. Maybe it won't fall with that angle. So sorry about that, but so I mean, they're guests, and I can tell them, like, this is the food we're eating, and let's try and keep it to this and whatever, to a certain degree, but like, if they want munchy, like I told them, if they want munchy foods, whatever, just please don't eat them in front of us. Keep them to yourselves. If you want chocolate, it's the same thing. Please don't eat it in front of us. Keep it to yourself. Whatever. Just because this is what we're doing, and I don't want to tell you you can't have it, because that's not my place to do so. But while we are transitioning, could you just keep it to yourself? Which they did do for the most part, which is great. Some chocolate did get left out. My husband did get into it at one point. That's okay. But during the potluck, there was 7-layer bars, there was lemon bars, there was brownies. I don't particularly like brownies, but I like the other things. There was butter tarts. There was a butter tart cake, I guess, or whatever, or pie, whatever it was, as well as just the mini ones. And those are all things that I love and would have eaten, no questions asked, in the past. And I did eye them up. I will be honest. I eyed them up very much. And I wanted them. But I didn't feel the pressing need to have them. And I think between that blog that my friend sent me and between switching to keto, I think both things helped me to keep that need and that want in check to a certain degree, and helped me take a step back and think about, do I really want this? And yes, or actually maybe I should say that properly. Do I really need this? Yes, I wanted it, but no, I didn't need it. And that was good. So, I mean, I did have some stuff yesterday. My husband and I went for dinner, and apparently my weak spot is donuts, which I don't understand, because I used to work in a bunch of different donut shops over the years. I worked in a gas station. Oh, that was a baby. I worked in a gas station that had a lot of donuts and muffins, and I actually got really sick of them at one point. So, but lately my weakness has been donuts, and so we went to Montana's for dinner last night because we were getting back into the truck, and we didn't really have any groceries, and it was getting late. My husband barely got any sleep the night before. I was really tired. I also went for my 1-year post-op appointments yesterday, which I'll get into in a minute. Oh, I didn't do my weights, my losses. Whoops. So, we got an order of the donuts. And so that's pretty much all the carbs I've had since last week. I've done really good with it. I didn't need the donuts. I wanted them, but I didn't need them. But it was the last treat for both of us, because we shared it. It was the last treat for both of us, though I would have been perfectly content without having them. So yeah, my losses before I move forward, because I did forget to do them with my weights. I think from my highest weight, I think it's like 127.8 pounds, and from my surgery weight, it's 100.6, I think, or 100.4, something like that. So yeah, Okay, so I did go for my 1-year post-op appointments yesterday. I saw the nurse practitioner first, then I saw the social worker, then the nutritionist, and then my last appointment was the psychologist. So the nurse was really happy with my vitamin levels. They're all very good. She's happy with the supplements that I take. She's happy with the loss. I've lost 68% of my weight. We did talk a little bit. I did express the fact that I'm happy with the way that my body looks. I don't have body dysmorphia like a lot of people do get, because there have been times that I have lost weight and gotten down to a smaller size in the last like 25 years. So I'm not really experiencing body dysmorphia to the degree that a lot of other people do. I mean, I do look in the mirror sometimes and I do think that I look fatter than I really am, but it's occasionally, it's not all the time. I do look at a picture sometimes and think that I look fatter than I actually am, or maybe it's just the angle of the picture that the person was taking, how they were taking it, the lighting, whatever, that gives it that optical illusion maybe. So I did express the fact that, you know, I have been having some issues lately, the fluctuations up and down in my weight, that I'm happy with the way my body looks, but I'm not happy with where I'm at. And I did express that to the social worker and the nutritionist as well. They are also concerned about the fact that I drink, and oh my God, this is really ticking me off, because I am fully aware of alcohol addiction. I'm fully aware of cross addiction and what it can and can't do. I am also fully aware of the fact that I do have other addictions that I battle with on a daily basis. Alcohol is definitely not one of them. I spent the past winter, I think I drank 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 at the most, over Christmas while I was off for a week and at my family's for the holidays. Whether socially or not, I think I got drunk a couple of times for sure. I think the other couple of times was socially. I did try to drink a couple more times on top of that over the winter, but it was mostly just my husband and I found I didn't want to. It wasn't interesting me, and I just ended up pouring my stuff out. Literally pouring it out. Down the drain. Gone. Didn't even care that it was, that I'd bought it and that it was money, but I just poured it down the drain. So, because it just didn't interest me that much. But I do find that when I am home at the trailer, I enjoy drinking. And I drink wine for the most part, and I enjoy it because I am with my friends and I am hanging out with my girlfriends. And you know, if I sit and I've got one girlfriend that definitely is a wine drinker, and if I sit and have some wine with with that one girlfriend, then I sit and have some wine with her. If I've got a bunch of people up in my trailer and I want to sit and drink with them, I'm going to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't drink to the point of stupidity. I don't even really like being drunk, to be honest, because I don't like getting the spins and I don't like the sick feeling, and so I strive not to get to that point for the most part. And my husband can attest to that. But I do like to get pleasantly drunk and be able to sit and enjoy my day with my friends. I do make sure that I get in my water, so for the most part when I'm at the trailer, I will make sure I have between 2 and 3 liters of water a day. I do strive for 3 before I start drinking. I also make sure that I get in my protein for the day before I start drinking. I will not start drinking until the very earliest 5 p.m. Usually it's more around 6 or 7 p.m. and I have containers that are the equivalent of a liter, and I will fill up my wine in that container, and usually I will stick to one over the night, and that will last me until midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. Sometimes I will get into a second liter and I will get maybe halfway through it and whatever, but it's over a big chunk of time. So now the psychologist did express that people who drink, and I don't know about this because I've watched a lot of bariatric patients, whether they're VSG, RNY patients, whatever, it doesn't matter. She basically told me that when you are a bariatric patient and you drink, it leads to regain, and I will regain no matter what, as long as I continue to drink, especially the further out that I am. I don't believe that for an instant, because and I told her that. She actually upset me a lot, the psychologist, because I've watched a lot of bariatric patients, and I mean, it's not the same for everyone. And I think part of the reason why I got so upset is because I feel like that's what they've been doing. And yes, they're educated, and yes, they know a lot, but a lot of them also have not been in the shoes that we've been in. They're going on book knowledge and forming these opinions off of book knowledge instead of personal knowledge, which I don't necessarily think is right, and off of things that other patients have told them. But one thing I've always stressed is that everybody's different, or everybody's body is everybody's body. Everybody's different, right? You're different than me. My body is going to react differently to different situations than yours is going to. Another reason why I say I don't compare myself to anybody. I'm jealous of certain things, certain people, you know, whatever, because, you know, they're losing weight better than I am or whatever, but I don't compare myself to them, because they're them. They're that person. I'm me. My body's going to do what it's going to do regardless of what I do. And I think that's something that they don't take into consideration. I think that they take their book knowledge and they take, you know, the different studies and everything like that, none of the personal knowledge, and they lump everybody into this one group, and this is how this is going to go, and this is how this is going to go, and and that's what I've gotten throughout my whole experience with my hospital, is that that's what's going to happen no matter what. And there's nothing I can do and say about it. That's what's going to happen, period. It doesn't matter that you're a different person. It doesn't matter that your body's different than everybody else's. It doesn't matter that your physiology and your DNA and everything is different than everybody else's, and that you have certain things about you that are different than even, you know, your sister or your brother or your mother or your father. This is how it is. And I haven't liked that aspect of it, and I haven't liked that I have felt like that through my experience with my bariatric clinic, which I've gotten a lot. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that practice. And I think that it is something that they should stop doing, because I think it just discourages people. And in a roundabout way, I feel kind of jinxed. Because, you know, like the very first nurse I saw told me that I would get between 190 and 210 pounds, and I wouldn't go any further than 190, no matter what. Honey, you don't know what my body's going to do. I'm not going to do things in an unhealthy way, or try not to do them in an unhealthy way. Right now, well, lately I've been battling my addictions. If I hadn't been battling my addictions, you know, if I hadn't reintroduced sugar back into my diet inadvertently around my 6-month mark, where would I be now? Would I have only lost 25 pounds from 6 months to now? Or would that have even mattered that I, you know, if I hadn't reintroduced sugar, would it still have been the same? We don't know. Nobody can predict what's going to happen until it happens. So, I think the psychologist actually cut the meeting with me short, because I was only in with her a half an hour instead of the full hour. Because I think she saw that I was getting frustrated and upset, and I think she was getting upset herself, because she was really concerned about the drinking thing. Her and the nutritionist are also concerned about the keto thing. The nutritionist actually tried to tell me that it is not a sustainable diet, which I actually called bullshit on, because there are quite a few bariatric patients in the community. There is a huge keto community. People that have been doing this for bariatric patients that have been doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. People in the keto community who have been doing it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Part of the reason why my husband agreed to switch over to it now is, okay, so pretty much I decided to do it because I felt that if I could not cook keto meals properly in the truck and waited until we got a house, which I was originally intending on doing, to meal prep while I was home, that there was no sense in us switching to keto. And the reason I say that is because it's all well and good if I have a house and I meal prep every week, but we're not necessarily going to make it home every week. There's going to be some weeks that we may end up not getting home. So, and holy cow, 32 minutes. So I'm going to start cutting this short. So we decided to switch to keto. There was some videos, and there was actually one gentleman that my husband watched that used to be an endurance athlete who used to carb load every day, and he ended up switching to keto eventually, and he's been keto 10 or 15 years now. I can't remember what he said, 10 or 15 years, something like that, and doesn't have a problem with it. So the nutritionist was basically like, it's not sustainable because you don't eat fruits and vegetables, and I pretty much told her that she was wrong, and she looked at me, I'm wrong, and I said, you are wrong. And she said, why? And I said, because I eat fruits. I said, I eat berries. I eat strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. I can eat cranberries, mulberries, any kind of berry I can eat. They're all pretty well lower carb. I said, I still eat vegetables too. Oh, I said, I eat avocados as well. That's a fruit. I said, I eat vegetables as well. I said, I'll eat kale. I'll eat Swiss chard. I'll eat celery. I'll eat cucumber. I'll eat broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce, cabbage. Those are all vegetables. Mushrooms as well. Like, you can eat very well on a keto diet. You can get your fruits, you can get your vegetables. Some people incorporate dairy, some people don't. I find that dairy doesn't bother me too much, so I'm going to keep dairy. So, you know, I'll try and keep the cheese to a minimum, because I think the cheese does affect my weight to a certain degree, but I like yogurt, and that's a sweet treat at the end of the day. So, So I totally disagreed with her. She didn't like it because she's a nutritionist, and she's probably been doing this job for, you know, at least 30 years or so, and she knows a lot of information, and but she knows a lot of what the basis of nutrition is, and what the health community has been touting for years with eating your, you know, your breads and your grains and everything like that, and they are not as good for you as people think. One of the points that the one guy we watched brought up in his video was that grains nowadays, in the caveman era, they ate grains, and they were okay to do so. You know, they didn't eat them every day, but they did eat them, but they cracked them and processed them as much as they needed to make the breads that they made. Nowadays, you get grains and they get ground into dust. So pretty much it takes up a bigger surface area when you digest it, and prevents you from absorbing a lot of the nutrients and stuff from your foods, because they take up a lot of the surface area in your intestines while other foods are passing through. So they're not good for you. If anybody wants the link to that video, I will let me know and I'll pass it along. I think he was very informative. My husband does as well, and it actually changed his outlook on what we had talked about doing and made him decide, yeah, let's give it a try. So I'm not saying it's for everyone, but for right now it's for us, and I needed to do something to help me curb the cravings and to help me be satisfied, because I didn't feel satisfied, you know, between the workouts and working, you know, carb loading, especially on the days that I was working out. You know, I was eating a mostly protein diet, and that is not sustainable whatsoever. When you're working out, you do go home and carb load, or if you don't, it becomes an absolute need, because you're depriving your body of an energy source. And you can get energy to a certain degree from protein, but not very much. It's more for building your cells and muscles and everything like that. Protein, or the energy sources, generally come from carbohydrates or fat. And the way our bodies are the way our bodies are physiologically designed are for us to burn fat. That's why we get fat, is because the fat stores is actually energy that we're saving for later, because we have an alternate energy source that the body will use before it'll use the proper energy source. And that's another thing this guy talked about in his video. And I think I sound really fanatical right now, but I'm really not. I'm educating myself, and I'm learning a lot, and I think a lot of people don't do that, and they need to do that better, because there is so much information out there, and there to make our lives better for ourselves if we look for it and we find it and we educate ourselves. So anyways, 37 minutes. So I am very sorry for such a long video. A lot of things have happened in the last couple of weeks, and I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. I will try to do better with that. I may, on certain weeks, start coming to you on Fridays or Saturdays, because those are the weeks that we're going to the trailer. But anyways, that is me for this week. We will see what's going on with me next week. Hopefully it's better, because you know what? I already feel better, and I don't think I'm experiencing keto flu. I've been getting the MCT powder, which is your medium chain triglycerides. I did read at some point that when you introduce medium chain triglycerides into your body, that your body is able to switch over to and get fat adapted a lot quicker, that it's able to switch over into ketogenesis a lot easier, because actually switch into an energy source into ketones quicker than long chain triglycerides, which is what you get from fatty animal tissue. So anyways, that being said, I'm going to sign up here. Everybody take care. Have a great week. Sorry for such a long video. And I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye.